lid, and on the lid you've got a positioning grid for all of the popular sizes of paper and card that you're going to want to work with. So you've got your 5x7, 4x6, A2 and 5x5 positioning on there, and the same positioning on the top platform as the bottom platform. You'll understand why that's really important very soon. That helps you line up for your invitations and notelets, or your monogramming, or your very specific placement of your letterpress items. And it's a little bit different to if you've stamped for years, it's different to that. What you're not going to do is tap, 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 because you won't get an even coverage of the ink. It's metal, so you're going to rub this ink pad all over, you can see in swirly motions. Now I'm not applying pressure, it's almost gliding over the surface. So there's no pushing or pressure. I'm just rubbing this around to make sure I've got a lovely even coverage across the whole of the press plate. Now, when I tape this onto my platform here to press the L and the C on there, and I close it, and this is another top tip for positioning, when I close it, you might be forgiven for putting your alphabets here at the top because that's where you think they need to be. They actually need to be at the bottom, because as you fold this over, the top becomes the bottom here for it to be read correctly. So if I turn this round and see what space I've got in that 6x4 space, I can see I've roughly got about 6 squares worth before I go over the top of my writing. So now I know roughly where I need to get those alphabets positioned and not go over the top of the writing that I've already printed. Now, if you're not confident, and you see I'm just doing a little peek to make sure, if you're not confident that they're going to be in the right place and you think they might overlap your wording a little bit, another top tip from me is to take just a piece of white card on its own that has nothing on it and press that and see if that is in the right place, because you can hold it up against each other. In fact, I think we're going to do that. I've decided we're going to do it because I think it would be nice to show you how. So I'm going to take a piece of blank paper first before I go straight into the invitation. I was pretty confident it was in the right place, but you might not be at home. So let me show you what you would do if you're not confident, and then you're not wasting one of those precious pieces that you have cut out and printed on your printer. You can do it on a scrap piece. It doesn't even have to be a piece of your good watercolour card. It could be a bit of photocopy paper, random piece of scrap paper from your craft box, doesn't really matter. And then we'll ink it up. Because this is a pigment ink pad, if it moves, don't worry, just get it back where you want it. Because it's a pigment ink pad, it's a little bit more sticky. So this won't do the swoosh. This will be light tapping to apply the ink. Because it's a sticky ink pad, pigment, and this is one of our metallic ones. So I'm just doing light tapping to get a good application of the ink there. If you notice by doing the light tapping that you've got any on your base of your platform, take a piece of kitchen towel and just go around and do a little clean up to make sure that you don't get any ink where you don't want it on your finished piece. Close it over, run it through. Now, so actually, good job that I did that, because what I can see there is, I think the LC is a little too far over that way. If I just pick that up and show you, it doesn't feel centralised enough. Now you might be happy with that, I'm not, because I'm very picky. So now I want to move that all back towards me. So that was a good little test to do, because we've been able to move those back a little bit further, which will make it feel much better on the finished piece. Now, I'm not going to move this piece of card ever. I'm going to move the press plate, because if you try to take this off and rotate it, you're going to end up stamping on top of an image. You're not going to get that perfect placement. So when you're doing this type of card, a top tip from me is don't move the paper, move the press plate. I'm going to turn that round and place it on the opposite side within the A2 grid. and I'm going to place it just a little bit further off there, which I can see, and I've turned it round so I've got a different part of the floral and leaf is going to show on the opposite side of my bit of paper. And then I ink again. Close my platform with my paper still in place over the top, and actually I looked at that there and I don't think quite enough of that flower is showing, and you can test it. See, I haven't touched it with the platform, but what I've done is close it and look at it and decide, is there enough of that flower showing? If I feel there isn't and I want to move it in, don't be scared to do that. That feels better. Close it, pop it through. And we can see that I've got a different part of the floral, but on the opposite side now as I start to build it round. I just want to show you though, if you don't want to foil, or if you don't have a foil press, you can do exactly the same thing for a thank you note, but just do it with your black foil press ink if you want to. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And if you don't like the lines around the outside, then you can leave it as a beautiful thank you with no lines. The extra special thing we've done here though is foil pressed the floral as well. So the choice is entirely yours. So many different things you can do with these thank you notes using your foil press and your letterpress together, and I think you'll agree that feels very classy, very expensive and very unique.